There you go.
There's a lot of times in the world that you have to find that because you want to do something that different than it's all in, you know, in that way. I didn't know order. Still find rails where you didn't have that is set up to start with and do exactly what you want, but you have to do it set
Does this get me win?
But there's just a lot of headaches that with rails that there's technologies
The best thing is to use somebody else's. I know, but what I mean is not like yeah, but they don't give you funds to play with your stuff. You can take it all yourself and record whatever you want. Yeah. Yeah, I can do it. I can do it.
It's fine. It's really
sure.
sweet. I like this idea. So we'll set this guy here,
okay,
just in case we need it. So I'm going to leave it off.
Yep.
And then if you think it's getting dark, just come click it on. I'll show you. It's this little tiny stitch on the side.
Okay.
Right here.
Okay.
Alfred, 1960, 1960.
Alfred should need it fast.
That here. So it's out of your way. Yeah.
I mean, it's really not in my way. It's more like.
Yeah, it looks fun.
Hey, what's this wire do? Whoops.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm thinking I'm going to move it.
Hey, you dangerous here.
I think so. You're right.
You can tell it's on that.
Lights.
Wait, but did you still want to loop through the video?
Do you mind? How's the cables work? Do you mind?
Oh, well, I was saying, if you're doing it this way, it might be more challenging.
I got it.
Oh. There's enough light.
Yep. And I'll have an out. 1 second.
Hey, how you doing? Here. First time here.
It was pretty cheap. It was about $60.
Yeah, what I totally should have done. Next time we do it, when I'm not the presenter, I'll just camp out with you in the back, and we can do a much nicer. Or like, anytime we host, I can drag the other gear out because basically I had nobody to operate it.
Right.
But we can do. I can take the slides right in. We can even set up 2 cameras. I can do a wide angle and a tight angle. And I can just feed you the thing, and we can live stream it
Awesome.
if you want.
Love it.
We have a way to live stream it to like a Google channel.
Right now it is. It's going to the book. Well, it's going to Bookages because Palm Beach doesn't have it, but it is right now.
Oh, it's going to stream to.
Yep. Live.
Oh, that camera is not pointing at me now.
Whoop. Yes, please. Can you stand right there? Very good. You're a very good model. Don't let anybody else tell you otherwise.
I'm not taking my clothes off.
Well, that's just, we're going to pretend. Done.
You're done?
Yep.
We're gonna go pick up something.
Yep. So.
Well, starting.
it's an emotional people, right? Eventually, the nerds we're all going to go through and like check out the specs and scrutinize their pricing tiers and all that kind of thing. But like, give one chance to just dabble. Why? Yeah. Grab some money. Yeah.
Jared. What's up, dude? Yeah. Yeah.
Especially trying to be right, because there's some times where it's like, kind of, I look at it and wow, I'm like, oh, not even the words.
Yeah.
It's like, it was interesting to find out some of my whole.
Well, if you're
Is what I would say. Yeah. So, it was fun. That's what I thought, that's where there's something.
Yeah, this is true. Because, so yeah, research a little bit. Yeah, I hear you.
It's funny because I've been doing this stuff, like, go back and forth again.
Oh yeah.
What are all these things?
I grew up with a colleague. I grew up with a colleague just went to they need. It was enough for me for a show. It just makes sense.
Accept the words I'm telling you, because that's what it is. Those are those things. Properties. Just variables and functions associated with that force. I don't know how to say that. But I think they do the bottom of it where it's like, where I was thinking about going into was like talking about the difference between like creating essentially new object and universal object literal versus new array versus array literal. So here's an array literal. What's an array literal? Like, I don't know. Because like I started looking at the difference. Why would we use that? When would we ever use a new object or a new array instead of just another variable?
There's some low-level reasons to do it.
Yeah, I don't think so. That you can do it. But if I want to associate an object with a set of predefined defaults, doing that with a new object and defining blah, 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 like that's way more tight for no reason. And the thing that's taking around like all day today is Babel change the way they do things. And then now instead of preset, you're going to
Yeah, I saw that.
Oh my god, so I've switched everything we've done. I tried to, because like, we have a couple of projects that I was able to like go wild on, like start from scratch on. So I set them all up as a build process, got everything running the way I wanted to, got everything, got formatted the way I wanted to, all that good stuff.
So now you yeah.
And then I didn't do anything with JavaScript, just which version are we supporting? I don't want to necessarily blindly convert to ES5 stuff just because we have to. If our browser is concerned, because like the stuff I've been writing with is like light cons and fat arrows, and every once in a while I use an array method right out front or something. So I'm like, I don't really care about the browser. I care about the support this. And then now that battery treats like all the prefixes where you can say support the latest two browsers.
Yeah.
Yes. That all of it.
I know, it's so nice because you can kind of check your brain at the door. You're like, I just care about these.
Because in the one-off situation, it's like the only reason why I decided to care about it royal treatment. Thank you, Ron.
When I'm not presenting, I can do it even better. Because I really belong behind the camera.
I see. You don't have second man on there? No?
Larry's doing the best that he can.
And he's on his phone.
He's controlling him from his phone. That's what you guys don't even have.
Doesn't seem like a hard job.
I heard snoring over this.
Oh, we do have some awesome lights. It's a great video switcher.
Cool. So you all set up, ready to go? You want to get started? I'll do my normal intro and whatnot.
Alright. If you want to get recorded, grab the mic and stand by the. No? Yes?
Yeah.
Is the intro recorded?
Nah. Intro recorded and whatnot.
Here, grab the mic in.
No! Like, I don't ever know how to hold the microphone. It's too close or too far. I'll just start. That's usually what happens too. Feedback.
It's still throwing me there, so it's still accessing that file. Some knows that's where the file is. Maybe I'll just stick index in a folder. See how that works.
I like to stay in the shadow.
Dance around.
That going. And that is what I had today. So without further ado, our testing secured APIs with Postman with Roman. Thanks for coming.
If you guys do have questions, do grab the mic because we're going to try to record some of this. So just a recommendation if you can. And definitely welcome. Is my mic on? No. Okay, now my mic is on. All right, so welcome to the PGA for our JavaScript meetup. I'm really grateful to my boss for opening up this space for us to be able to host for you here. If anybody doesn't know where the restrooms are, they're just outside the door. Tim told me to mention that. So men's and women's room. Again, thanks for joining us. The talk today will be on APIs and Postman. So before I actually jump too far deep into it, I wanted to get an idea. Does anybody here not familiar with APIs at all? Do we have any complete API beginners? No, one. Okay, so I'll try not to go completely too far too deep. If you are looking for the slides are at this URL, http://postman.api. I can't believe that was still available. I do want to give a shout out to Jason from last month, when he started a trend I hope is going to become a trend of learning to learn. And I hope that the future presenters will take cue from that and throw in some information, helpful information for everybody where they like to learn from. So I highly encourage everybody to. I don't think you can be a good developer without learning something new probably every day. And it doesn't have to be development related. So commit to learning, to your ongoing learning experiences. And some of my favorite places are Stack Overflow. Basically, if you have a question and you search for it on Google, Stack Overflow will probably come up near the top anyways. If it doesn't, and you go on there, you can find some very specific answers to some very specific questions. And if by some chance, which is probably only about a 10% chance, they don't already have an answer to the question that you have, you can post new questions on there, and if other people have similar questions, they can actually vote up your questions, so it becomes a really useful tool. And it's also great if you have an answer, so you can learn by looking what other people are asking and then answering some of the questions, which can help you learn new things, or you might already know an answer and just help somebody out. Pluralsight is a great website. Jason mentioned lynda.com before. There's also egghead.io. There's several of these websites where they have video tutorials, and they're fairly in-depth with a lot of information. All of them are great, including YouTube, which is free, but Pluralsight does have a great collection of courses, and I wanted to throw it out because it has not been mentioned. Podcast is my personal favorite. Actually, audiobooks is my personal favorite, but there are not very many audiobooks available on JavaScript because you kind of sort of need some visuals usually. There's often code examples, there's often graphics, but there are some great podcasts, which I kind of made a list in my presenter notes. 1 second. Right there. There. So JavaScript Jabber is the one I've been listening to actively for a while now. They cover a whole lot of stuff on JavaScript and have some great guest speakers. Meetup is a node-specific podcast. 5JS is actually a really cool thing. They just do 5 minutes of JavaScript, so you can learn very small things and stay up to date. Shop Talk for CSS and some other stuff. They cover a lot of stuff. Developer T was one of the first development podcasts I jumped into. It had some useful information. I didn't fall in love with it. Development related but not JavaScript related are This Agile Life, Agile for Humans, Coder Radio, Complete Developer Podcast, The Changelog. They do a lot of great stuff on Software Engineering Radio. That's just what's on my list. You guys can definitely follow a lot more of what's available. Just do a search. So podcasts are definitely a great tool.
Ron, would you show that back to the Meetup group when you're done?
The list? GitHub may not be the most obvious learning tool, but it is a wonderful learning tool. There's 2 types of learnings I know you can do on there. One is their entire textbooks that are published that you can actually contribute to. So not only can you read them, you can actually submit changes, examples, follow examples, and they have some great tutorials that you can follow step by step by just going through the repos or by checkout process. So instead of having to download a big zip file and go in like start folder, and folder, example number 2, next first folder, last folder, you can just go through one example and follow it from beginning to completion by going through their commit log. The second way is, of course, looking at some of the industry superstars and looking at what kind of code commits they have done. And just look at what some of the most known names have publicly posted in open source community. So you can just look through them, and if you're brave enough, you can actually ask to contribute. Some of those communities will let pretty much anybody try to contribute. So if you're any good, you can actually hand that with code in some major open source platforms. There are forums available for just about any technology and language specific. So I've in the past have made use of SQL Server forums a lot. There's some true experts that do look at the information that questioned, and they post some really great answers. So whatever language you're using, of course JavaScript and any other one, there are forums that you should probably participate in. And my most frequent note to everybody is give yourself ability to fail. Success comes from freedom to fail. I think Mark Zuckerberg has been quoted on that, and many other tech leaders. But that doesn't mean fail and stop. It means fail fast, fail often, but some of the more modern ways are failed forward and failed better. I'm not going to explain the differences between each approach. You can definitely look them up. But at the bottom of that is kind of the world famous light bulb. So 1,000 tries and